Hi, I'm Valerie Crow with Cobb & Douglas Public Health. Welcome to Spotlight on Public Health. Today we will be discussing the Babies Can't Wait program, and Julie Burns, the director of the program with Cobb & Douglas Public Health, is here with us today. Julie, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Julie, let's start off by talking directly about the program. What is Babies Can't Wait?
So Babies Can't Wait is an early intervention program for children birth to 3 who have or may be at risk for developmental delays. It's actually a federally mandated program through the Individuals with Disabilities Act. So not only is it in Cobb County, it's state and nationwide, although it may be called things in other states.
Okay, and what exactly does the Babies Can't Wait program do? What does it provide?
So we provide developmental screenings, a developmental evaluation. If a child is eligible, the family is assigned a service coordinator, kind of helps them navigate the system and help them connect with community resources. If therapies are recommended, we may be able to provide therapeutic support in the home. Ultimately, our goal is to minimize or eliminate any developmental delays and help a child reach their maximum developmental potential.
Okay, great. And how many people in Georgia would you say are helped by the program?
So in fiscal year 2016, the state of Georgia had developmental goals for almost 17,000 children. For our district alone, we have about 1,500.
Okay, and why is the program important? Why do we need to know about it?
Ultimately, it supports the family in meeting the needs of the child, such as with case management, therapeutic support, and advocacy. All of this supports the child in meeting those developmental milestones and goals.
All right, and then what are some of the services the program offers?
So we do developmental screenings, a developmental evaluation, case management. I mentioned therapeutic support, so it could be things like speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. We have special instructors and family trainers. So all things that can go together to just help the family as a whole in the child meeting meeting the needs of their child. IFSPs, or individual family service plans, are also written, so you kind of have an outline of what you're working towards so you can map that progress.
All right, and you mentioned developmental screenings. What are developmental screenings and how much do these screenings cost?
Okay, so at intake we do what's called an Ages and Stages questionnaire. It's a developmental screening. It's a quick questionnaire that the family fills out that covers 5 areas of development, and it gives us a small window of information about what's going on with the child and how they're doing in those areas. And there is no cost for that screening, and depending on the results of that screening as well as the parent interview, we may refer to a more formal evaluation, and again, there's no cost for that evaluation either.
Okay, great. And once a child is enrolled, how long can he or she stay in the program?
They can stay in the program up till the day before their 3rd birthday.
All right, and then what happens once they turn 3?
As they're approaching their 3rd birthday, the service coordinator is actually going to coordinate with the family to assist with them meeting with the school system. The school system has a program for children 3 to kindergarten who may need continued support. So we just kind of help navigate that and make that transition a little easier for the family.
Okay, and typically where are the Babies Can't Wait services provided?
So therapeutic services are typically held in the home or daycare. We use what's called natural environment, and that means the child is in a place that they already feel safe and secure, and when we provide strategies, they can be more easily adapted to the typical routines and activities of the child.
All right, and do you also see children at the Cobb & Douglas Public Health locations?
Typically, we will provide intakes and evaluations at the Cobb Douglas Public Health office. However, therapies, we don't have a clinical setting. Again, we work more in the natural environment.
Okay, and is there a cost for the Babies Can't Wait program or services?
There is, again, no cost for the screening or the evaluation. However, if therapy is provided, there may be a cost participation. We do try to bill insurance first. However, if a family does not have insurance or insurance does not cover the service, that's where the cost participation comes into play. And we look at the size of the family and the household income to determine what that percentage would be.
Okay, and what makes a child eligible for the program?
Well, first and foremost, they have to be under 36 months of age. Second, sometimes a child may have a particular diagnosis that predisposes them for developmental delays, and that's an automatic eligibility status. Or with the more formal evaluation, if we see a significant delay in one area of development, a moderate delay in two areas of development, or we can even use clinical opinion. And what that means is sometimes the test isn't necessarily going to capture certain things like feeding or sensory concerns that can have a negative impact on development, but so we can still make them eligible based on that clinical, informed clinical opinion of the professional to perform in the evaluation.
Okay, and then at that point, how does a child get enrolled or referred?
Okay, so to refer, anyone can call our referral line. It's 770-514-2759. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. However, you can always leave a message if you call after hours, and we'll call you back during regular working hours.
Okay, so basically anyone watching today could call the referral line.
Exactly. We want anybody who has a concern to feel free to call us, even if it's just for information, before they formally refer.
Okay, great. Julie, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about the Babies Can't Wait program.
Well, thank you for having me again. I really appreciate it.
We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
You must be your fairy godmother?
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose one that's the right fit for your child's age and size.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember, their happily ever afters are in your hands. To find out more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Along with weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Public Health. My next guests are Candace and Matt Wells, a Cobb County couple that would like to share the experience they had with the Babies Can't Wait program. Candace and Matt, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Can you start off by telling us a little bit about your experience with Babies Can't Wait?
Sure, it was a really terrific experience. You know, being first-time parents and the anxiety that goes along with having your first child, and then you learn to find out that your child's going to have some pretty severe medical issues that might occur, and the anxiety that compounds on top of that really just raises the level. And to have an organization to be able to be there for you to help alleviate as much anxiety as possibly could. You can't alleviate it all, but having someone there to help you through the system and understand and support you really made a big difference in our life.
Okay, great. And how were you introduced to the program?
When our daughter was born, she had pretty significant medical issues, and so the first part of her life we were just focused on survival. But throughout our interaction with various doctors, we were given the brochure for Babies Can't Wait a few different times. She had a successful open heart surgery when she was about 5 months old, and after that surgery is when we reached out to Babies Can't Wait, set up our first interview with them, and began the process.
Okay, and what would you say that you liked best about the program?
My favorite part of the program was the guidance that they provided. It was my first time being a mom, much less a mom to a child that needed extra care, and they provided a wealth of information and just a path for us to follow, and they did so in our home where we were comfortable, and we just appreciated all of that.
Was there anything about the program that surprised you?
Yeah, there was a couple things. First and foremost, one that we qualified. When you hear about public health and public health programs, you think about services provided to a different socioeconomic class than we might be in, and we didn't think that we would really qualify for any services. And second of all was just the unbelievable quality of care and support that was given to us. You know, you read a lot about public health funded things and you think of it as a lower grade of care, but I would say the exact opposite. We couldn't have asked for better care.
Right. And do you feel like the Babies Can't Wait program made a difference in your lives? And if so, how?
Absolutely. I mean, they gave us where a lot of medical professionals are pretty black and white with expectations with children with medical issues. Babies Can't Wait just focused on moving her forward, and they didn't set expectations. They gave us hope that things could be beyond what was expected for her, and that hope was really essential for those first few years of her life.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us about the program?
Just along the lines of, you know, the guidance and the hope that they've provided. It was, her original diagnosis was pretty bleak as far as the expectations for her life. And toward the latter part of our experience with Babies Can't Wait, when she was getting close to age 2, it was actually Becky Palumbo, who we were working with, who encouraged us to, of all things, sign her up for preschool, which most people take for granted that, you know, their 2-year-old gets to go to regular preschool, but they encouraged us to go ahead and move forward with that and just let her live her life. And, you know, now she's in 2nd grade and in school and living a wonderful life, and we just appreciate their encouragement.
Wow, that's great. Well, I really want to thank both of you for joining us today and sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Public Health. My next guest is Becky Palumbo, a registered nurse and an intake service coordinator with Babies Can't Wait. Becky, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Becky, first I would like to mention that you actually worked with Matt and Candace, our previous guests, as their ongoing service coordinator. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do as an ongoing service coordinator?
Well, once a child is made eligible for the Babies Can't Wait program, they're assigned an ongoing service coordinator that really just overlooks their case and any therapies and make sure all their rights and everything are maintained according to the state standards. So the ongoing service coordinator helps coordinate therapies. They also help connect them into resources, and then they also help them with the transition to the school system at age 3.
Okay, and now you're an intake service coordinator for the program. Can you give us some details about what you do on a day-to-day basis?
I'm one of the first ones that has contact with the family, and they usually come in and meet with me in the office, and we start gathering information. We do that ASQ, the Ages and Stages Developmental Screening, and from there we can determine whether or not there looks like there may be a delay. And in that, then we schedule the evaluation to get an evaluation done to determine the eligibility. So we gather some basic information to get the process started with the child.
Okay, great. And what would you say you like best about working for Babies Can't Wait?
Meeting with the families. To me, that's the best part of all. I get to meet a whole lot of different people. I get to meet them on their beginning journey with this child and get them started and connected into the resources they need, and just get to watch these children flourish as they go along. With the family interviews, to me, are the best part.
Great. And how many years of service do you have with the program?
I have 8.5 years with Babies Can't Wait, but I've been with the Public Health Department for 24 years, working with parents and children from newborn up to about age 3.
Okay, and Becky, before we close, remind us again, if someone has a concern about their daughter, their son, their grandchild, a friend's child, how do they get that person connected or that family connected with the Babies Can't Wait program?
Well, they can go ahead and talk to the family first and mention that concern, but they don't really have to do that. They can call the health department to the phone number that Julie mentioned earlier, the 770-514-2759 number, and just tell them about the child and the family. They will need the name of the family, the name of the child, the address, and on that referral it actually asks whether or not that parent's aware of that referral or not. And then we will call that family and let them know that we've received a referral. So anybody can call.
Becky, thank you for joining us today and talking about this very important program.
Thank you very much for having me.
For more information about Cobb and Douglas Public Health or the programs it offers, visit cobbanddouglaspublichealth.org. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
The Cobb County Safety Village is the most comprehensive safety training environment in the region. Located in central Cobb County, the Safety Village aims to provide the highest quality of safety education available. Primarily designed for elementary-age school children, the Safety Village provides hands-on life safety training. Education is the key to reducing risk and protecting our community and its residents, and the Cobb County Safety Village is the first in Georgia to offer this kind of learning experience. On the 8-acre site is a large multi-use education building which includes classrooms, a cafeteria, offices for employees, and an auditorium made to look like the historic Strand Theater in Marietta. There is also a station for inspecting car seat installation, a free service provided to the residents of the county by Safe Kids of Cobb County, which includes 3 mechanics bays that provide shelter from the elements as well as heat during the winter months, as opposed to before when seat checks were done outside. After walking through the reception area, visitors are greeted with what looks like a small house. This is known as Sparky's house. In the hallway, which is made to look like a street, there is a replica of a telephone booth and a small tree. Sparky's house actually consists of a living room, bedroom, and kitchen, creating an incredibly memorable learning experience that mimics some life-threatening situations that children may face in their own homes. The front door of the house opens to what looks like a regular home on the inside. In Sparky's living room, children are taught about the 3 elements of fire, shown what objects around the house are more subject to catching on fire, and then the home fills with smoke from machines and steam heats the doorknob at the exit. Children must then maneuver, crawling across the floor to keep away from the smoke, and feel the door with the back of their hands to see if there is fire on the other side. The children then open the door and crawl outside to safety. When they are in Sparky's bedroom and the room fills with smoke, the children must then climb out the window with a safety ladder and meet up at the family's arranged meeting spot, the tree outside of the house. After these lessons, children participate in a simulated 911 call, complete with a live operator answering at the other end. Children are also given classes from police officers regarding topics ranging from what to do if approached by a stranger, what to do when you're home alone and hear a knock at the door, and what to do if they find a gun in the house. Interaction and participation by the children is highly encouraged and also provides for a better learning experience. The Safety Village's goal is exactly this: teach children in a unique and unforgettable way and make it as interactive as possible, but do so in a manner that is controlled, supervised, and above all, safe for the students. The David Hankerson Education Building is only the first part of the children's experience. The Safety Village itself is a working village. The land has been paved like a small neighborhood and designed to look just like that, only on a reduced scale. The Safety Village is a child-sized representation of our county, complete with real trees, scaled-down operative buildings with signage, small street signs and traffic lights, and even model homes. Site elements used throughout the village reference those found around the Marietta Square to help give the scene a recognizable and authentic look. The site features 4 distinct areas, which are the Marietta Square, a commercial district, a residential district, and an industrial district. Since it has opened, the Cobb County Safety Village has improved the fire department's efficiency in training students by 200%. Twice as many students have been able to take part in this safety training than last year before the Safety Village opened. It is easier and requires less manpower to have a centralized location, which helps to reduce scheduling conflicts. Before, when 2nd and 4th graders participated in their state-mandated fire safety program, a fire truck with a trailer housing a far less advanced scenario similar to Sparky's house would have to travel out to each school individually and could only handle one small group of students at a time. The Cobb County Safety Village allowed them to build a more complex scenario, which teaches the children more effectively, and they have room for multiple classes at one time. Children will benefit greatly from the knowledge that they will encounter through observation and participation. Learning is essential to a child's mind, and taking part in the process is crucial. The philosophy is simple: tell me and I will forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I will understand.
You wanna go for a ride?
When I saw your face for the first time, I wondered how your life had been. Had anybody held you or loved you, or had they never noticed you there? What
Why are you turning in this dog?
Be the best of friends.
Well, we're moving.
How long have you had the dog?
11 years.
You understand the dog will likely be put down?
Yeah.
I'll need you to complete the surrender if you would, please. You're giving up all rights to the dog. Are you okay with this?
Both my eyes have filled with tears, knowing one will find a home, leaving others fate unknown. We're killing our best friends. There's only so much one can do, that's why I'm out here asking you.
Did you want to keep the collar?
I don't think so.
Don't run away from your fear. That lovers need to learn and finally be concerned. They're killing our best friends. There's only so much one can do, that's why I'm out here asking you. How can you help me?
Every year, in Metro Atlanta alone, nearly 90,000 unwanted animals are put to death. It is epidemic and unnecessary. The problem can be fixed. Spay and neuter your animals. The time to act is now. Stop the needless killing. Please help us. www.mostlymutts.org.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Yeah. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap snacks Sunday. All the healthy children eat well and move a lot. And move a lot. And move a lot. Eat well and move a lot.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day.
Skip a rope Saturday, freeze tag Friday, tap dance Thursday. Whole grains Wednesday, try a veggie Tuesday. Let's move Monday, split the sweet Sunday. Eat well and move a lot. Today is Saturday. Yeah. Today is Saturday. All the healthy children, all the healthy children.
Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.